I just got back from the movies and I went and saw the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and I just loved it so much. Like, I really loved the first Mario movie too. It just like got me so in my feels and like the nostalgia of it. I just feel like they did a really good job incorporating these old elements, particularly they'll like cut to different parts of showing the pixelated graphics. They'll use some of the noises from the movie or from the games, and of course there are like so many little Easter eggs that hint to different like things, pulling back references to the many different games over the years, and I just loved it so much. And so I grew up playing Mario. I loved I loved Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Sunshine was my favorite, but I loved Mario Galaxy. I remember when that game came out, and I remember just how amazing all of it was because it was so different as far as, you know, we got used to seeing, like, of course, the side scrolling, and then like, they shifted to 3D, but this, the way that they like really incorporated the physics into it, where you could jump from like one platform to something and go upside down, and then that would have its own type of gravity. I just remember being so like in awe in how all of that worked, as I was playing the game, and then to see how they used that in the movie, I thought was really really cool. I also loved all of the random characters. First of all, Star Fox in this freaking in this movie, like I was so shook. I just I loved how they made him this just like this. I think they did a really good job capturing that like the cocky essence of him. And I really hope that they will include more of that. And I was a huge Super Smash Brothers fan. Of course, that was like another game that I feel like absolutely changed the trajectory of like what was possible for video games, where they started incorporating games, from different universes, if you will. You had Mario there, you had Star Fox there, you had Pokemon there. All of these characters coming from these different games in one new game was really cool. I loved it that they had Pikmin. I saw that. Mr. Game and Watch. There was another one. There was another. There was a couple of other characters that I was just like, are they gonna do like a Super Smash Brothers like type movie? Or like are they gonna branch out into that going to next? But anyways, there's just so many things about the movie that just like got to me. you know, um, I just loved all of and just to be able to see some of these like really fun, amazing levels that were in part of the games, to see it in the like on screen in this different way too was really really cool. And again, like I loved the music. I love that they incorporated they even used like some of the Star Fox music. I was just like, oh, it just got me. So I really feel like it's such a cool take to, and I feel like they did such a great job representing the old parts of it in a new way, to like get a newer audience to be part of it and to enjoy it in this new way. And I know like some people that might not be for everybody, but like for me, I always thought it was cool. I just loved it. So I could just say that over and over again. But anyways, if you have you seen the new Mario movie? What do you think? How do you feel about it? I feel like maybe Gen Xers and millennials, I feel like this one was geared towards us, especially because we are the ones that grew up with it. But I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe it wasn't your thing. But for me, I played a lot of Super Smash Brothers growing up. The Super Smash Brothers Melee and Brawl in particular. Um, in high school. Um, I had a really tight knit group of friends, and after school, we would come get together at, to my parents, and we would sit and we would play for hours. And like that was just like we do that like a couple times a week. Um, and yeah, I'm not kidding, like hours. and um, and then when I was in college, I did the same thing. I remember because I used to commute to college and it was at least an hour drive if there was no traffic in Houston. And so after I had classes would end, I think at like 5 or so. So and I'd kill some time before I got on the road because that was like freaking, oh my god, the worst traffic if you go right at that time. So I would bring my GameCube. Was it the GameCube? Yeah, it was. I would bring my GameCube and then I think we and then eventually we did it whatever. What was next? The Wii. Um, so yeah. And then I would bring my Wii because I remember the bag that I carried it in. But I would use the GameCube controller. I liked that one so much more. But anyways, so in order I would bring that up there, and then me and a couple of my friends, we would hang out and we would we would play. Oh my gosh, like we were such nerds. And I played a lot. I never played like with I played like with my friends, and then I remember one of my friends is like, "Oh, hey, this is a guy that has played in he played in a tournament or something, and he made it in like 12th place or something." I was like, "Ah, this guy's nothing." And so we played, and he totally whooped me. And I used to talk so much crap, and so I was just like, I had nothing to say. Oh, and it was just so funny. But yeah, I played with like a group of friends for a long time, many, many hours on that game. And then the next iteration came out, and I didn't really play with that one too much. And we would always play like Final Destination, no items with like 5 lives or something. That's what we would play. We wouldn't do all of like the fancy items, we wouldn't do the crazy levels and all of the extra stuff. We would really keep it like that's how we played. And now like when my kid wants to play, they want to play with like all of the stuff, and I'm just like, dude, I cannot. It is too much. I cannot tell what is happening on the screen. There's too many characters, there's too many people playing at the same time. There's too many things, and I don't play it, so I don't play it. But I still have that nostalgic love for it, as well as Mario. So anyways, I just wanted to rant about that. I don't know if y'all knew how nerdy I was, but there's a little piece of that. So if y'all played any of those games, like, or was there a different kind of game that you were super into that you played that you just logged an ungodly amount of hours in? I'd love to know. Another sidebar, if right now I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West, that's another game that I'm putting a ton of hours in. I'm like really close to putting in 200 hours on that game. Persona is another one. But anyways, yeah, I like my video games. So anyways, let me know what y'all think.